Today's class is going to be called I Lost Everything. Today's class is going to be titled I Lost Everything. All right, let's get to it. Give me my reader, Officer Joshua. Let me get that your favorite book, Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. Let's get that.
The book of Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayst observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
So in this life, we will be prosperous and we will have success in the things that we are doing if we follow God's commandments. That is the recipe. That is the secret sauce. Everybody wants to know, how does IUIC do it? What's the secret sauce? Well, that's it. We keep the commandments and we meditate in it day and night. It's on our brains when we sleep. It's on our brains when we wake up, at work, all day doing the work. That's how we become prosperous and successful in this captivity. Because just in case you forgot, we are in captivity. All right. So like I said, our class is I Lost Everything. And we're going to go in the scriptures and find out, coming to this truth, you're going to lose some things. Family, friends, even your life. You will lose things, okay? But we must gird up our loins and stay strong and endure to the end, all right? So let's get that. Let's get Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1.
The book of Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
So it says, my son, when you come to serve the Lord, be prepared. A lot of people come to the truth and think it's just going to be flowers and you're going to have an orchestra and an audience and everybody's, yeah, I see you. It's not like that. Okay, we have to prepare ourselves because there's going to be a lot of people that hate us. And we may lose some things. You might lose your job. You know, you might lose, grandmama might not talk to you no more. You know, your best friend not going to be your best friend no more. All right, so we got to prepare ourselves for that because when you come to serve the Lord, temptation is coming. All right, read verse 2.
Verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble.
Time of trouble. Okay, and that's what we're going to get into because those times of trouble, we lose things. All right, so let's get some examples. All right, let's get, matter of fact, keep reading. Read verse 3.
Verse 3.
We're going to go actually to verse 4.
Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayst be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
So it says, be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. And we're going to read that. We're going to read some examples about that. Give me Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. Because we all know Peter, you know, Peter the rock. Well, Christ was the rock, but we know who Peter is, one of our forefathers, one of the 12 disciples. All right, and let's find out what Peter told Christ. All right, Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27.
The book of Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Jesus said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
So Peter told Christ that they gave up everything, not only himself, but the 12 disciples. They saw Christ, they gave up everything. They gave up that old life. You know, just like right now we got, you know, we used to go to the strip club. You know, brothers used to sell dope. All right. Brothers used to, you know, rob and steal, hit up licks, all that kind of stuff, living that life, fornicating, sleeping with everybody, women and men. All right. But they gave that up. They gave up that life for what? For Christ and this truth. OK, read verse 27 again.
Verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
So Peter said they forsaken all. They gave up everything. They lost all their friends, all their families, because only the select few that believed in Christ, okay, would hearken to the disciples. But a lot of people didn't believe. A lot of Israel didn't believe. They didn't want to keep the commandments. Okay. All right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 36. Let's find out some of the things that you will lose. Okay. Let's find out. Coming to this truth, what are some of the things that you may lose? Matthew chapter 10 and verse 36.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 36.
Uh-huh.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Say what?
A man's foes shall be they of his own household.
So one of your first enemies is coming to the truth is your family. Yes. Ding dong. Your family will be one of your worst enemies. That includes grandmama. That includes Uncle Ruckus. You know, that includes Cousin Pete. All right. That includes Big Brother. Okay. Little brother. Okay. That might even include your son, your daughter, your wife. Okay. These are going to be your foes, those of your household. All right. Read verse 37.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Because he said, if you love your mother or your father or your son or your daughter or your brother or your sister or grandmama or grandpa, Uncle Ruckus, if you love them more than God, hey, you're not worthy of Christ because you're not going to follow. You're not going to keep the commandments because grandmama want to eat chitlins. She want to eat baby back ribs. Okay. So you're not going to follow Christ. And if you ain't going to follow Christ, hey, there's no kingdom. So this is where we're seeing here. One of the first things that you will lose is your family, is your friends in this truth. So like it said in Sirach, prepare yourself, prepare your mind. Okay, because this is what's coming. It's not going to be all rose petals. Da-da-da-da, with trumpets on. Brr-brr-brr-brr. There goes the Israelite. There goes the Israelite. Yeah, hey. Hey, Israel, hey. You're not going to get that. We'll get that in the kingdom, but not right now. In the kingdom, we're going to get that. Why? We're going to get that, but not right now. So these are one of the things that you'll lose. Your family, your friends will become your enemies. All right. Let's go to Luke chapter 14 and verse 26.
The book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 26.
Uh-huh.
If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
So a lot of people say, oh, I'm Christian. Or you talk to Northern Kingdom, yo tiene Jesucristo en mi corazón. Okay, listen. If you cannot separate your family and your friends who are in wickedness and not keeping commandments, to keep the commandments and obey the Lord in this truth, you're not fit to be a disciple. You ain't no Christian. You ain't no real Christian because a real Christian follow Christ. And Christ kept the commandments. You dig? So this is what it's talking about. This is another example in the Gospel of Luke, how your family is going to be your enemies. Okay, these are the first people that you're going to lose. Okay, and you could lose everything, but we'll find out. The Lord will give it right back, plus more. All right, so hang on. We getting there, boy. All right, so that's Luke chapter 14. We're gonna let me see here. Let's read on.
Verse 27. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
When it says bear your cross, all right, that's talking about enduring. You got to be able to endure this walk, your flesh, the lust of the world, the lust of the eyes. Okay, whether you're at work, whether you're at home, you find out about this truth. You're a young man or a young sister, and you still stay with your parents. Okay, and it's a Sabbath day. You're trying to keep the Sabbath, but you hear the microwave, beep, beep. You're like, but you can't do nothing. Hey, you got to endure. That's your cross for right now until you're old enough to get your own place. You move out, and you able to keep the commandments with peace. Okay, but you got to bear your cross. We all got a cross to carry. We all got to endure this life. Okay, into the end. All right, read on.
Verse 28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he hath sufficient to finish it?
So we got to count the cost. We got to sit there and evaluate, hey, I want to be a soldier. I want to go out there and teach. I want to serve the Lord. I want to be a servant. What is it going to take? Okay, let me look. man, I'm going to have to start studying, you know. And when I start studying, I'm going to have to see, hey, listen, I got to start keeping these laws. I can't go out there and teach anybody and not keep the laws. It's going to take some effort on my part to change, get myself together. Okay, then I can go out there and teach. I got to repent and change under the laws of God. Okay, you got to examine yourselves. That's why it says, read it again.
For which of you, intending to build a tower,
build a tower. So if you're going to build a tower, you got to know what, you got to have your equipment. You got to have your tools. Before you even build it, you got to have a blueprint. You got to have a plan of what you're going to build. That's what they do in construction. You know, you got to have a blueprint, a plan of a layout of how you're going to build it. And then once you had that layout, okay, now you got to go buy the material. Now you got to go get everything so you can make it. And then you make it. Make sure you get the right people under you, the right workers, the right people to lay tile, right people to do the roof, for example. Okay, you're counting the cost to build that tower. Read on.
Sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he hath sufficient to finish it, lest haply after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him.
That's like you coming to the truth, and then you just fall out. I knew that was a fad. I was just waiting for you. Your mama said, yeah, welcome back. Boy. I knew it was 2 weeks. I say, watch, he gonna come back. He gonna see. He can't do it. He can't do all that stuff. That's a cult. And you back because you couldn't handle it. Not even 2 weeks. You like, man, that's too many commandments. I can't give up the weed. I can't give up the strip club. I can't give up the baby back. I can't give it up. Okay? And you gonna be made fun of. By who? The same people, your family. They gonna make fun of you. Because the people in the truth, we going to keep it moving. We going to keep it trucking. We going to keep going. We heading to the kingdom. Your family going to mock you. You going to look like an idiot because you was talking all that stuff. Mama, you a devil. You shouldn't be wearing no pants. 3 months later, you a sister, you wearing pants again. But I thought you said, Tiffany, I shouldn't be wearing pants. Yeah, Mom, nah. It was just too much. They wanted me to pass over and unleavened bread. And they said I had to prove men. And the men, you know, I like this brother at work. And I got to prove men in the body. And they don't look that good compared to the drug dealer who I like on the block who got 22-inch rims. You know, she don't want the righteous man. She want the thug. Nah, and she left. This is the example. You're going to be mocked. Read on.
Verse 30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
He wasn't cut out. He wasn't worthy to be a disciple of Christ. Read on.
Or what king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000.
So even when you go to war, you got a plan. Battles, you got Ukraine and Russia. You think Russia just woke up and just say, hey, let me go after Ukraine? They've been planning that thing. You think when America dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, they just woke up and did it? No, they planned that thing. It's all evil, but these are examples how even King David, when he went to war, they had strategies. He had the mighty men. They had the plan. Read on.
Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple.
So all that you have, that means you're going to lose a lot of things. And you may lose everything. All right. And that's the title of the class. You may lose. I lost everything. All right. So you got to count the cost. You may lose some things. You may lose your job. Okay, you know, and you might lose your life for this truth. The disciples did. Christ did. That's why we're here. That's why we're able to go out here and teach because of Christ. He gave up his life. He lost his life for us. All right. So let's get the next scripture. Give me 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3. So now we're going to find out. We're going to go into the books of Peter. And Peter said he gave up everything. Let's find out when he started to give up everything, what happened. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you.
Speaking evil of you. They think you strange now because you say you from the tribe of Judah. You Levi. You Manasseh. They think it's strange. Like, what's wrong? Why y'all wear them garments? Why you got this garment on? Why y'all got purple and gold on? They think it's strange. Why you not cooking on Saturday? Why y'all go to church on Saturday? They think it's strange. You ain't doing the same thing that you used to do. You ain't smoking weed on the block steps. You not at Fat Tuesdays getting drunk. They think it's strange. Hey, they call you up sometimes too. Hey Sam. Hey man, you want to go out tonight? Nah, I can't do it. What? Bro, you was just with me last week. Nah, I repented. Bruh, come on now, man. That new thing, that new religion you in, man. Come on, bro. Chill out, man. You overdoing it now, dog. You overdoing it now. Bruh, nah, man. That ain't me no more. They think it's strange. All right, I'm going to call you back next week. I'm going to hit you up, and they will. Until they get the drift that, hey, you serious about this. And they not going to mock you like it said in Matthew. Okay? So they think it's strange. All right? This is what happened to Peter. That's why Peter said in Matthew, they lost everything. You're going to lose your friends. They're going to mock you. They're going to think it's strange. And they're going to speak evil of you. All right? All right. So let's get another example. Okay. Now we're going to take it up a notch. Let's go to Job. All right. We all heard of Job. Okay. And we're going to meditate. Like I said in Joshua 1:8, we're going to meditate on Job a little bit. All right. Let me see. Give me Job, because we want to get to the point. Job chapter 1. Let me get to it real quick. You know, I got these slow hands. Job chapter 1 and verse 14.
The book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 14. Mm-hmm. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them.
So this is talking about his, what he had. You know, he had oxen and asses. So that's just like you got cars and plants and all kind of stuff at your house. Job was wealthy. You heard me? Read.
And the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them, and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So they took his food, his oxen. That's like somebody coming to your house. They come in there, they take your fried chicken, they take your wing stop, your steak, all your vegetables, everything you got, all the stuff you could. They just took it away from you. Okay, your orange tree, your apple tree, your mango tree if you in Miami. All right. And they killed your servants because you had maids. He had maids and he had servants, and they killed them. So they touched his prized possessions, the things that he owned. They took that away from him. So not only you can lose your family and friends with them not speaking to you, you can lose your house. You can lose your money because his servants and his cattle and oxen, that's his money. That's his livelihood. He lost that. For what? Because Job was a righteous man. He was keeping God's commandments. Okay? But the story of Job, Satan came to touch him, and the Lord sent him. All right? Let's go to jump to verse 18.
Verse 18. Mm-hmm. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. Mm-hmm. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house. And it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So now he lost his children. Okay. So he lost them, meaning they died. Not that they didn't speak to him anymore, or the first level, your friends are not speaking to you more, your grandmama not speaking to you anymore, okay? Now he lost his children, all right? This can happen. You can lose your children in this truth. And then you'll think to yourself, damn, why? I thought if I'm keeping the commandments, the Lord gonna save me. Why? Why would this happen? We read that, and we're going to go back to it. It said that in Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. It said, prepare thy soul for temptation. When you come to serve the Lord, these things may happen. We all have a different a different trial or tribulation that the Lord will set upon us, okay? But those things may happen, all right? He lost his children, all right? And let's get that video clip. Give me that first video. All right. This is the movie Color Purple. And this is an example of your family disowning you. Your family don't want to deal with you no more. All right. Just keep that in mind. Let's get that video.
Stay, please, let us stay. I'll do anything for you. Let us stay.
Get the hell out of my house!
Let us stay. Let us stay. No.
You ain't never coming back here! Get out of here! Get off my land! Get off my land! Get off my land! You ain't welcome no more!
That's serious. And that's how it feels. That's how it feels. Your family just disown you. They don't want to deal with you. Excommunicado. They don't talk to you no more. And that's good as far as when you're in the truth, because that makes things easier. You can stay focused. But it hurts in the beginning that they don't want to talk to you. It hurts that your friends don't want to follow, because when you come to this truth, you excited. You think when you tell grandma, you think when you tell mom or dad or your brother or your sister or your friend about this news, about this gospel, who they are, they are the Israelites, they will be excited and repent too. But they don't. They don't, because many are called, but a few are chosen. You were chosen, and you got to endure it. They don't. So it hurts, okay, to lose your family and friends. They disown you, just like we saw in that clip right there. All right, so let's go back to Job. Let's read Job chapter 2 and verse 7.
The book of Job, chapter 2 and verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown.
So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from his foot to his crown. So Job lost his health. Job was messed up. He lost his wealth. Okay, he lost his children, and now he was losing his health. This is what happened. He lost everything. This is what's happening to Job. This is what we're reading. All right, let's find out what else he was starting to lose. Read on.
And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die.
Do what?
Curse God and die.
This is what his wife, his help meet, was telling him. Man, you messed up, man. Curse God and die, nigga. That's what she was telling him. He was losing his wife now. From all the trials and tribulations that was happening to him, it was now affecting his wife. She had the evil demon on her. All right? This is what's happening. We got another clip. Let's get that second clip, because now we're gonna see a clip from the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. And in that movie, Will Smith, he's the topic these days, okay, his wife didn't want to deal with him anymore either, because he lost everything. So she left him, and he was out in the streets with his son, and he was on the verge of just giving up, but he didn't. At the end of the movie, he didn't give up. And that's how we supposed to be. And he endured. But look what happened to him. Look how he felt. Just feel it. Let's get that clip. You gotta feel this thing. You gotta prepare yourself. Feel that thing. Let's get that clip.
Here's a cave. Come on. Right here, right here. Go, go, go. Get in, get in. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Are we safe?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, did you feel that? Okay, this is similar to what Job was feeling like, minus the boils, but he was hurt. You see in that scene, he was hurt because he lost everything. He was on the streets. This is what we have to prepare our minds for. We can lose everything in this truth, okay? But guess what? We will gain everything because we losing the things of the world, okay? But we going to gain everything. We going to gain the kingdom. Eternal life. We don't got to worry about a 9 to 5 no more. We don't got to worry about being sick. All right. We don't got to worry about death. We don't got to worry about the Rona. All right. So this is what we strive for. Okay. But we got to prepare our minds what's going to happen to us right now. All right. So let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. We're going to get another example. Okay. Because this Bible was written for our learning. Okay, so we can see examples of how our forefathers lived. Let's read. We're going to start in 1 Maccabees chapter 1. We're going to read to verse 7, and we're going to skip around. All right? Let's get it.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Joarib, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons. Joanan, called Cadus, Simon, called Thassi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis.
So right now we're reading about a father. His name was Mattathias, okay? And he had 5 sons, all right? Of course, Judah, Maccabeus, Simon, all right, Eleazar. He had 5 sons, and he raised them, okay, to keep God's commandments. He raised them to be strong men for the Lord, okay? And he set the example because our holy days, we got a feast of dedication, the day of Simon, okay? But it wouldn't be no feast of dedication or day of Simon if it wasn't for Mattathias setting his sons right in the Lord. All right, let's read on.
Verse 6, and when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers.
So he said, woe is me, destruction to me. Damn, I don't even want to be around. I can't look at this. They defiling our temple. They on our streets. You see right now when you go to Israel, the bishop and the elders went to Israel, and they said they seen Amalek taking a crap in the Holy Land, right in the middle of the streets. That's our city. That's our country. Everything belonged to us. This is how, and they defiling it now, and the other nations were defiling it then. He said, woe is me. It hurt him. He just couldn't understand. He said, damn, I got to do something about this. And that's what he did. He stood up and he did something. He rose his sons up with the strength of the Lord, with the power of his might, and he did something. Let's find out what he did. All right. Let's jump to, let's go to verse 8. No, I'm sorry. Verse 15. We're going to read to 18.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Modim to make them sacrifice.
To do what?
To make them sacrifice.
So this is the Greek captivity. So the Grecians came to the city, okay, into to Jerusalem, and were compelling the people to sacrifice. What? To sacrifice to idols, to sacrifice swine flesh, which was a sin, which was contrary to what we did, because only the priests were supposed to do that, and it has to be clean food. It had to be other laws. Okay, no heathen had no part in that. And they were making the people do that. Let's find out what Mattathias did. Read.
Verse 16. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. Yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
So in other words, the Grecians came to Mattathias and say, hey, bruh, sell your soul. If you do this, if you do my commandment, forget your God commandment. I'm going to be your God. You're going to do my commandment. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to take care of you and your sons. You know that's a lie, because we all know Esau promised the black man 40 acres and a mule. We ain't even get a mule. You can't even worry about 40 acres. We ain't even get a mule. They ain't even give us a free dog. They ain't even give us a free iguana. You heard me? So this is they were trying to deceive him. Okay, read on.
Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
He basically said, hell no. No, he said, nah, we ain't doing that, bruh. We keeping God's commandments. Get to stepping. That's what they told him. Keep reading.
God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
He said, God forbid. Hell no. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna go against God for you. For you? Nah, I ain't doing that. Read on.
We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modim.
Oh, hold on. It came one of the Jews. There is always a simp. Yes, master. I'm going to do it. Hook me up. Don't worry about Mattathias and his son. Give me the money. I want me a Benz. You know, I want to be rolling. I eat the pork chop in the car. Simp. Want to follow the white man. We got that right now. Don't want to keep the commandments. Want to still keep Easter. Want to still keep Christmas, Halloween, and all these wicked pagan holidays. Read on.
According to the king's commandment, which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Read it again.
Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
He was angry. He had the zeal like his forefather Caleb. Read.
And his reins trembled.
He trembled. Oh, boy, I know what he doing? Oh, hell no, I'm about to get this soul. He finna feel it. Read.
Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment.
Get back. Nah, sons. I'm going to kill him. Get back. Watch how daddy going to do this. Read.
Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
He ran. He ain't walk. He ran. You ever seen that Terminator movie where the new Terminator was running on the street and he didn't have no kind of emotion. He was just, that's how he ran. He ran and just, and killed them. That's what our forefather did. That's what he did. He said we would rather die than break God's commandments. All right. But now him doing that at that time was a consequence. Okay, and he would lose some things. That's the point of this lesson. All right, let's read on.
Also, the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
So he pulled down all the evil stuff that the heathen were putting at the temple, and they were just slaughtering all the evil people, including evil Israelites. Read.
He killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri the son of Salom. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him follow me. Didn't Christ say that too? He called Peter to say, follow me. He called the disciples say, follow me. Because the spirit of Christ was in Mattathias. That's what we read him, precept upon precept. Same thing. Willing to die for this truth. Read on.
So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
So he and his sons, they had to flee. They had to flee to the mountain because once the Grecians got word that he killed, that he's throwing down all that stuff and killing people and rebelling against the king's commandment, but keeping God's commandment, they're going to come. So they had to flee. And they said they lost everything. Their houses, that's just like right now, you had to leave, up and leave. Your house, your car, your fish tank. If you got a little fish tank and you got a little goldfish in the house, bloop, bloop. You go by the window, your little kid go, bloop, bloop. You're going to lose that. They lost all that. All right? So read it one more time. Verse 28.
Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
So they was in the wilderness. All right? They was in the wilderness, just like Israel was in the wilderness. Read.
Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them.
Because what?
Afflictions increased sore upon them.
Prepare thyself for temptation, for afflictions. That's what happened to them. They lost everything, but guess what? You said it said his wives, his cattle, his children, they all went. They stuck together and they made it because his sons continued to grow. Okay, and they kept the movement going. They kept the gospel going. All right. So that's what we got to do. But this is an example that you may lose some things. You may lose your house, everything, your job, everything. Have to up and flee and go to another country. Go into the wilderness. Who knows how it's going to be in the last days where you may have to flee. Okay, this is what we got to prepare ourselves for. All right. So let's go to John chapter 11 and verse 1. All right. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Acts chapter 8 and verse 13. Acts chapter 8 and verse 13. No, I'm sorry. Acts chapter 8 and verse 3.
The book of Acts chapter 8 and verse 3. As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering into every house, and hailing men and women, committed them to prison.
So right now we're hearing about Saul. Saul is Paul. Before he got converted and he saw Christ and changed and started following Christ, his name was Saul. Okay? And he was running havoc. He was running havoc on the disciples. He was putting them in jail. He was killing people. Read it again.
Verse 3. As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering into every house, and hailing men and women, committed them to prison.
So he was putting people in prison. So if he was going to people's house, he was taking them out their houses. The people lost their houses. The same thing we read in the Maccabees. This is what we're reading in Acts. This is in the Roman captivity. Same thing. People losing their everything that they cherished, all their cherished possessions. Okay, your Tesla car, you know what I'm saying? Your Harley Davidson bike. You know, you lost everything. All right? This is what we got to prepare ourselves because our forefathers, foremothers, they went through this thing. All right? So that's what we're reading. All right? This is what Paul was doing before, he woke up and started following Christ. All right? Let's get another example. Let's go back to 2 Maccabees chapter 7. And we're going to read verse 1 through 5, all right? Right now, we're reading examples of the title of today's class, once again, is I Lost Everything. And we're reading examples of levels of things that you will lose. We first read earlier that you will lose your family and your friends, okay? Then we read you will lose some of your possessions, Okay, we also read that, hey, you can lose your family members, meaning they would die. Okay, and we're gonna read some more examples. All right, and other levels that yourself you may die, you may lose your life. Okay, so these are the things that happen when you come to serve the Lord. All right, but that's for the greater good. The greater good is the kingdom. All right, so let's read that. 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1, and we're going to read to verse 5, and we're going to skip around.
2 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips.
So we're reading here, a mother and her 7 sons were taken against their will. Same thing they did to us in 1619, transatlantic slave trade. Same thing they did to Northern Kingdom, the so-called Hispanic, Spanish people, all right, in 1492. All right, they took them because this was the Greek captivity. Mother and her 7 sons. And what? Forced them to eat swine's flesh because we were not supposed to eat swine. It was an unclean animal. And they knew that. And they wanted to force them to eat that. They wanted them to sacrifice the idols like we read with Mattathias and them. Okay? They want us to commit sin. Because they know as long as they kept us in sin, we will be destroyed as a people because God will punish us. And they knew this. Read on.
But one of them that spake first said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die.
We are what?
Ready to die.
So one of the sons said, hey, what you asking us? Nah, bro, we ready to die. We ain't finna eat no damn swine. You lost your mind, fool? We the Israelites. Don't give a damn what you gonna do. Read.
What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot.
What? He commanded, he was like, what? You know who I'm talking to? I'm King Antiochus. Who are you talking to? Get me some frying pans. We gonna fry these niggas. And that's what they did. You're gonna read the volume of wickedness and torture that they did to these 7 sons and the mother. And all our forefathers and people during these trials and tribulations was horrendous. Horrendous. Read on.
Which forthwith, being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first.
So he commanded to cut out this man's tongue. I don't know about y'all, but that right there, that hurt right there. That hurts. When we read these things, we got to visualize the pain. Man getting his tongue cut out. Read.
And to cut off the utmost parts of his body.
Cut off his body parts. Like, you ever saw Shrek and the gingerbread man and he lost his legs and everything, just sitting there, not to laugh about it, but just a visual. Lost all his limbs, cut off all his limbs. This is horrendous. This happened to our forefathers. Read.
The rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
With his family looking on. This is what the king did. King Antiochus did to him. All right. Let's jump to verse, let me see. What did I want? Let me see, make sure. 5. All right. Let's jump to, verse 9. So now, the story, you could read this, go into depth. You could read more into it. They were torturing all the sons, killing them one by one. The first son, the second son, the third son, the fourth son, the fifth son, the sixth son, okay, the seventh son. I'm sorry. It was, 7th son. And then the mother. All right. But let's find out what these men said when they were ready to die. Did they say, no, okay, I'll eat it. Come on, stop. No. I'll eat this one. They didn't do that. They died manfully. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life.
They knew they would get raised up again. They knew about regeneration. They knew that, hey, they're making their bodies a sacrifice. They're dying for the Lord right now, and God will reward them. So that's what they said. That's what they had in their mind when they were dying. Read it again. Read it again.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou like a fury takest us out of this present life. But the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life.
His last gasp, the last breath he had. All the pain he had, and he said, the King of the world, that's Christ, is going to raise us up. His last breath, he went out like a G. That's a G. That's how he went out. That's how we got to be, no matter how it comes. Okay, we got to be able to endure. All right, and that's not easy. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like it's something easy to do. That's why the Bible says we got to prepare ourselves. You got to prepare your mind. How you do that? Reading the Bible, reading these stories, imagining, meditating. How was he able to do that? How was he able to do that? Because his spirit was in tune with the Father, and that's how we got to be. All right, let's jump to verse 41.
Verse 41. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died.
So the 7 sons died and the mother died, but they knew they were going to die because they weren't going to keep the king's commandments. They weren't going to be eating pork and sacrificing the idols. So they said, we rather die. And they did. So that's another level of loss where you'll lose your life. Okay. And you may lose your life and your whole family in this instance. Okay. And these are the things that we got to meditate on to prepare ourselves, because it may not happen to you, but you may have a brother and a sister in the body, or who's keeping the laws, and it happening to them. And you got to be able to endure that to strengthen yourself and to not fall and be like, man, hell nah, such a sister, such and such died with her 2 sons. I'm out of here, because that's what's going to happen. People going to run. Hell no, you heard what happened to such and such? Nah, I'm good. I'm going, If I got to eat pork to keep my house and stay alive, that's what I'm going to have to do, bruh. But we can't do that. We got to endure, all right? And that's what they did. They endured to death, okay? So now let's go to John chapter 11 and verse 1, and we're going to read to verse 4.
The book of John, chapter 11 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby.
So now we're reading the Gospels. Now we're reading what Christ went through. So this was one of his friends, Lazarus, who he loved, died. Read verse 3. Read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick.
He whom thou lovest is sick. Your best friend, the one who you love, your ride or die, is sick, died. Christ was hurt, and we're going to see that. Okay? And one of the reasons why he was hurt, read verse 4.
Verse 4. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby.
So you got to imagine this. Christ already knew that Lazarus was going to die. But Lazarus is going to be die for what? That Christ could be glorified. That people could see, because Christ was, as you'll read on, Christ brought Lazarus back from the dead. But so people can believe in him and believe in God. All right? But so this was for the truth's sake. So his friend was going to die for the truth. This hurt Christ. Even though he was going to raise him up, it hurt him. You don't want to see your friend die, but it was for the greater good. Okay, that was a loss. Christ just felt the loss right there. His best friend died. All right, let's read verse 33.
Verse 33.
Uh-huh.
When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled.
So Christ groaned in the spirit and was troubled. He was groaned in the spirit and was troubled. Let's see why. Verse 32. Let's read verse 32.
Verse 32. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died.
That hurt him. He's like, man, right, he wanted to die. He wanted to die. Hitting them all in the chest. You got to imagine it. Christ like, he know he going to die, but it hurts because that's his best friend. He was here, I tell you. If he was here. You know, it was hurting him. Let's go back to verse 33.
Verse 33. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled.
They were crying. That's what weeping mean. They was boo-hoo crying. Lazarus. Okay, but this was for the greater good. This was for the truth. They didn't know that Christ was going to bring them back to life. They didn't know, because if they would have known, they would have been like, hey, Christ, when you going to wake them up, dog? Eating popcorn. Hey, I'm ready, but I want to see it here. Hey, you going to see it here? Christ going to raise them up? But they didn't know. They didn't know. They had to believe. This was going to be a miracle that they would see. Read on.
And said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept.
And what?
Jesus wept.
We hear that in church all the time. Jesus wept. But they don't give you the context of what it's about. He lost his friend, okay, for the truth. So people can believe that God can do all things, that God can bring somebody back from the dead. Can't nobody do that. This was the Roman captivity. The Romans couldn't make somebody who died, bring them back to life. You know what I'm saying? Neither now. I don't care how much voodoo, witchcraft you do, Santa Maria and everything. Can't nobody bring somebody back to life. Brother got shot in the head, and then Trayvon Martin just going to wake up. Nah. That ain't happening. This was something that was a miracle that the people would see. And let's just get that real quick. Go jump to verse 43.
Verse 43. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth.
Lazarus, come forth. The dude was in the tomb for 4 days. Lazarus, come forth. They had probably bugs and all kind of stuff on him. Lazarus, come forth. Dude, Lazarus probably like, the cherubims here. He probably didn't know what the hell was going on. Read on.
And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus saith unto them, loose him and let him go.
Now we're gonna read why. Why did this all happen? Read verse 45.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him.
Read it again.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him.
That's why. So Lazarus had to die so people can believe. So people can believe in Christ. You see, he wasn't just no regular dude, that he was the Son of God. That can happen today. Brother may not come back to life, but somebody may pass in his truth, and people may be like, man, that brother died in the streets. That sister died doing this, and bring in more people, martyrs. You know what I'm saying? This is what we seeing here. All right. So Christ lost. Christ had a loss. And we all know Christ, the ultimate loss for Christ was he died for all of us. He died. He lost his life. Okay. So in this truth, you will lose some things. All right. Let's go back. Let's go to, let's get some good news now. Let's go back to Sirach. Sirach chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 1 and read on. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1.
The book of Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare thy soul for temptation. Prepare thyself that you might lose everything. Okay? You might lose your family members. Okay? People may die in your life. You might lose your house, your precious possessions. Okay? And you might lose your life. Prepare your mind for that. Because our forefathers and foremothers, they did that. And this is not something easy to digest. It's hard to swallow. Even for me up here. It's hard for me to swallow that thing. Okay? But we got to get prepared because this is what's going to happen. All right? We gotta prepare for that thing. Read on.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
So we got to constantly endure. So we got to constantly read these things that it becomes numb to us, where we like, it is what it is. Oh, yeah? Okay. Nah, I ain't going to eat that. Nah, I ain't going to do that. Nah, I ain't going to worship Easter. You going to kill? Okay. It is what it is, cup. Go ahead. This is all for the Lord. You ever seen Scarface when he got high off all that doggone coke and he like, and he was getting shot? Well, that's how we got to be for the Lord. You get shot up. Yeah, y'all gonna feel it when we come back. All right, but on a serious note, we got to constantly endure. Read on.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
Meaning, don't run away. Because a lot of people, when they start losing, they see other people, not even themselves, losing their house, losing their job, losing family members, people losing their lives. They're going to run away. They're going to make haste in that time of trouble and leave and scatter. Read.
Cleave unto him.
What must we do?
Cleave unto him.
We must cleave unto God. That's the whole point. The Lord wants you to come to him in your time of affliction. Like it says in Hosea 5:15. You got to come to the Lord in your time of affliction. Let's get that real quick since I said it. That wasn't even in my scripts, but let's get it real quick. Just read that real quick. Quick draw. Hosea. Yeah, Hosea. Was it 5:15? Time of affliction. Let's get that real quick and we'll come back.
The book of Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction.
In their what?
In their affliction. They will seek me early.
So in our affliction, we got to do what? Cleave on to him. Hold on to the Father. Be patient and endure that thing. Back to Sirach. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 2.
Sirach chapter 2.
I'm sorry, verse 3.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
So that last part is good news. Read that last part.
That thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
So it may be some situations where you go through your trials and tribulations, but hey, at the end, the Lord will bless you and you'll have more than what you had before you were getting the afflictions. Let's get that. Let's go back to Job. Job chapter 42 and verse 12 real quick. Let's get it. We're almost there. We're almost done. We got probably a few more scriptures. Let's get it.
The book of Job, chapter 42 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. For he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels and 1,000 yoke of oxen and 1,000 she-asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemimah, and the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Keren-Hapuk. And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job.
So we're reading good news. Job was increased. He got double. And all the children he lost, hey, he got back. His wife probably repented from all that wicked stuff when she was telling him, just curse God and die. She repented and she got right and they had children. He knew his wife again and they had children. And he had more cattle. He had more things. So the Lord made him increase in the last end. So the Lord can bless you. He can heal you from that disease. Okay? You lost that job at that time. He'll give you a better job later. Okay? It's all on the Lord. Okay? But we're reading that. We're reading the example of that. Job, who went through hell, bounced back at the end and did better at the end than he did in the beginning. All right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 19, verse 29. All right? Let's go back to Peter. Because remember we read Peter earlier. How Peter said he gave up everything. Let's find out what Christ said. He will give you if you give up everything. Let's read verse 29, then we'll read verse 28.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 29.
Uh-huh.
And everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands, for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life.
So Christ said, hey, if you give up, you lose your family and friends in the world when you come to this truth. Grandmama, Uncle Ruckus, your best friend, okay? You lost all them for this truth. Hey, you going to get 100-fold. Because guess what? When you come to this truth, we got schools around the world. Some schools, hundreds of people. You got thousands of family members all around the world. You lost what? 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, bro. The balance, You got more people, more family members and friends in the truth than you did in the world. And these people that actually care about you, these people are actually the people you need to be around to help you endure. Because your people in the world, when them trials and tribulations come, they ain't gonna be around. They gonna be independent. They gonna do what they want to do. Take care of themselves, because that's what our people do. But this truth makes you remember your brother and remember your sister. Okay, in the world, you don't remember your brother or your sister because you don't even think they're your brother and your sister. All right, we got to meditate on that. Okay, verse 28.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
So not only did Christ tell Peter, the other disciples, and he's telling us now, hey, you lose people in this truth, family members, friends. Hey, you'll get more people when you come to this truth in these congregations and this organized nation. But also he was telling Peter and the disciples and us in the spirit that, hey, you're going to get the kingdom. You are going to get the kingdom. That's ultimately the best thing. You're going to get the kingdom, everlasting life. You get to see Christ. You ain't got to worry about nothing no more. If that ain't good to you, I don't know what it is, because this ain't life. Okay? So that's good news. All right? Let's go to Acts chapter 4 and verse 34. All right? And when you get those friends in the truth, all right, and you're going through some things that you lose your house, you lose your money, guess what? The Lord got stuff set up so we could be able to survive. Let's read that.
The book of Acts chapter 4 and verse 34. Neither was there any among them that lacked. For as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them and brought the prices of the things that were sold and laid them down at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made unto every man according as he had need.
So that's what we got set up. So if someone loses their house, loses their job for this truth, for Christ's name's sake, the Lord said, because we keeping God's commandments, and God's commandment says, love thy neighbor as yourself. Hey, we got people, we going to help each other. You short on your rent, we're going to help you. You need food, we're going to help you. That's what an organized nation does. That's what a family does. That's what the Israelites supposed to do. That's who we be. Okay, and that's what the Lord has set up. And that's what we reading in our history. That's what we did in the times of tribulations, because this is the Acts of the Apostles. Okay, they were scattered. They were getting persecuted, but they gathered themselves together and helped one another to everyone that had need. All right, let's get some more good news. Let's go to Sirach. Let's go back to Sirach and read verse 4 to 6.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Like Job. Job was changed to a low estate, and Job was patient. He waited it out to the end, and guess what? He got double. So that's what is that telling you? Be patient. Yes, I know you're going through some things. Yes, I know you lost your job. Yes, I know you feel sick. Okay? Yes, I know you're going through trials and tribulations, but be patient. Cleave on to the Lord. And he gonna help you. How? You got brothers and sisters there. And the Lord is there also to do those things. Because the Lord's hand is not too short to save. The Lord could do anything. Okay? But we gotta be able to endure and to seek him and to come to him. That's what the Lord wants us to do in all these situations. Read on.
For gold is tried in the fire.
So we gold. We are gold. And it says we're going to be tried in the fire. I don't know about you, but fire hot, boy. I know Bishop Kanai, I seen one time he was cooking and he put his hand on the grill. He's the fireman and he went like that. You know, I give him props because I can't do that. But fire serious, y'all. Fire destroys flesh, all that. We're going to be tried in the fire. Meaning, hey, we're going to go through some serious stuff. Okay, why? To make us better. Because fire purifies gold. Okay, takes all the impurities out and makes us refined. So we're going to be refined. Okay, read on.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay, read.
Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him.
So we got to believe in God. We got to believe that he sent his son to die for us, to lose his life for us, that he will help us when we lean on him. All right? That's what the same thing Peter said. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12. We're almost done. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial.
The what?
The fiery trial.
Didn't it say we were going to be tried, like the goal was going to be tried in fire? Listen, the Bible is redundant. Christ spoke through the prophets. Christ spoke through Sirach. Christ spoke through David. Okay, the Bible is redundant. It says the same thing. Read it again.
Verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial.
Don't think it's strange that you're going to get these tough trials and tribulations. Read.
Which is to try you.
Which is to try you, to make you better. Read.
As though some strange thing happened unto you.
Because it's not strange. It's all planned. God wants you to go to the kingdom. That's why he's trying you. He wants you to make it. He don't want you to be up there and to be a simp. He don't want you to be up there and not keeping his commandments. He got to make sure you right. If you're gonna live forever, you got to be right. If you're gonna live forever, you gotta know all God's laws. You gotta know what to do. You living forever, bruh. You living forever, sis. God want to make sure you right. He ain't finna have no homosexual in the kingdom living forever. No idol worshiper in the kingdom living forever. Sisters wearing blonde hair in the kingdom forever. Nah, we gotta be right. Finish that.
As though some strange thing happened unto you.
Mm-hmm.
But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy.
So it says that we got to be joyful. And like I said, that's not easy to swallow. But we gotta prepare our minds for that. We got to get there. Okay, we have to get our minds. We got to get there. And that's what we strive for. That we be happy when bad things happen to us. We give glory to God in our trials and tribulations. So when we get out them, Lord's will, okay, we give him glory again. All right. So let's go to, let me see, Matthew chapter 19 and verse 28.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's it? That's it? Yes, sir. So that's letting you know that the ultimate goal is the kingdom. The ultimate goal is the kingdom. And that's what Christ was letting the disciples know. And that's what he's letting us know now. Our ultimate goal should be the kingdom. All right? All right, let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 9.
2 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou like a fury takest us out of this present life.
Mm-hmm.
But the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws, unto everlasting life.
So they knew about regeneration. They knew that, hey, if I do something evil, when I come back, I'm going to feel it. They knew about that. Go to verse 14.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was ready to die, he said thus, It is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from God, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. Afterward, they brought the fifth also and mangled him.
So the brothers also, all the brothers, the 7 brothers, they knew about regeneration. They knew, hey, if I do this, I keep the commandments to the death right now, the Lord gonna raise me up, whether it's in the kingdom or the next life, and bless me. And that's how we gotta think. Because we don't know when the Lord's gonna come back. We don't know. But we know, hey, if we die in this lifetime in this truth, whether I come back in the next lifetime and Christ ain't come back, or I get raised up when Christ come back, I'm going to be blessed. Okay, and if I come back into the next life, I'm going to do the same thing all over again. I'm going to die for this truth. I'm going to be willing to lose everything for this truth. Okay, let's go back to Sirach chapter 7. Yeah, Sirach chapter 2 and verse 7.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall.
So we got to wait on the Lord. Okay? When we in the process of losing things, losing our jobs and stuff like that, wait on the Lord. Because the Lord can always give you another job. He's going to find a way for you. Read on.
Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail.
And your reward. At the end of the day, we got to know that we have a reward waiting for us. The Lord is going to reward you. You are going to get rewarded for your hard work, for your sacrifices. This is what you got to put in your mind to keep you going forward. When you're going through those trials and tribulations, when you're going through those hard times, because you're putting in the work for this truth. When they look at you and say you an Israelite and all this type of stuff, you're getting that ridicule. They're looking at you strange. They speak evil of you, like we heard earlier. Read on.
Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy.
We must hope for good. Read on.
Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
So it says, look at the generations and see. Okay, we got like Job, like Peter, okay, like the 7 brothers and their mother, like Mattathias. All right, we got to look. The Lord, whether the Lord blessed them at the end like Job, or the Lord's going to bless them with eternal life when they get regenerated, this is what we got to meditate on. Okay, we got to see that the Lord is merciful. The Lord does reward us. The Lord does love us. He sees our sacrifices. He sees us enduring. Read on.
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction.
Read that last part.
And saveth in time of affliction.
If it be in his will, he will save you in that time of affliction. It's all on him. We don't know what the Lord gonna do. That's why he the Lord. But he does save. He is in a business of saving. He does do that. Read on.
Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands.
The Bible says, woe, destruction to those who are fearful of the trials and tribulations, who are fearful of losing everything. Don't be scared to lose everything. It is what it is. It's the world. It's the flesh. Okay? You may lose everything, but you'll gain everything, and you'll gain the world. Because we will run the world, thus saith the Lord. Read on.
And the sinner that goeth 2 ways, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended.
So if you faint-hearted, the Lord ain't going to defend you. The Lord ain't going to help you. So that means while you're going through this trials and tribulations, you got to be strong. Don't be faint-hearted, because he's not going to defend you. Read.
Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways.
So we got to keep God's ways, no matter what. Whether we lose everything, we lose some things, your trials and tribulations, we got to have fear in the Lord and keep his ways, meaning keep his commandments. All right? So, shalom, Most High, Christ bless. Stay in the spirit.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
We used to scream Black Power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.